The Tamiya Lunchbox gets a lot of love from enthusiasts all around the world. Released in 1987, it's still in production today, and there's a lot of things you can do to improve this monster truck's performance, so let's take a look. The first 3 things that I want to cover are going to help you avoid any disappointment for your first run with the Tamiya Lunchbox. Number 1. Increase your runtime by installing ball bearings. There are 2 types of bearings available. Most people going off-road use the rubber shielded bearings. Great for keeping out the dirt and the water in case you want to be making a splash. Number 2. You must secure the tyres to the rims because they're going to start to slip. Super glue works best, but it is permanent. An alternative is to use an elastic band. Find one the right size, width and diameter, attach it to the wheels, and that will give you plenty of grip. They do have a bit of a shelf life because they start to get old and wear out. Now, another alternative is to use double-sided tape. Again, it's got a shelf life, but you can always swap it out, much like the elastic band, to get yourself going again. But the real beauty of using the elastic bands or the double-sided tape trick means it's easy to take your tyres off. You could maybe swap them out for the dump truck spike tyres. Or you might want to try out tyre foams, give them a go. You can always glue them later once you're satisfied with what you got. Number 3. Now this is crucial. Not doing this is going to ruin your first run. Get some blue thread lock on the axle threads before you put the nuts on. Let it go off for a few hours. Otherwise, you're going to go out, your wheel's going to come off, you're going to lose the little pin holding your hub. You'll be absolutely gutted. You're going to have to go home. Number 4. This is not going to stop you getting out on your first run, but it won't be long until you break a body mount. Get yourself some alloy ones off eBay. Whilst you're there, get some foam protector pads, stick them on there. It stops the body rattling and making loads of noise when you're going along. Sweet. Number 5. Chassis slap. There's a ton of options out there, such as homemade parts, fifth shock mods, 3D printed parts. Actually, there's a really good argument for the fifth shock mod, and I'm going to link a video in the description by Pete Wiley RC to explain this. I actually opted for a 3D printed solution from Shapeways because the machines and the materials they use are second to none, and this part takes a load of abuse and it's never failed on me. It was designed by Ampro Engineering, and if you've not seen his channel, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. It was so easy to fit, and he's designed loads of fixes for all the old school Tamiya models. Just one issue though. If, like me, you don't live in the US, you may find the shipping cost to be mega expensive with Shapeways. Do an internet search, have a look around, check out Pete's video, see what suits you best, and just go with that. Get rid of that chassis slap, because what it does is it just gives you more power to the rear wheels, and you're going to have loads more fun with the Lunchbox. Number 6. Oil-filled shocks. I've already made a video about the best budget oil shocks for the Tamiya Lunchbox, so I'll link that at the end of the video. There's a ton of options out there, and the Tamiya CVAs are always a great choice. At the time, I bought some fast track shocks. I like the fact that I could get optional spring set for them. I've used soft in the rear and firm in the front. You are going to have to make a decision on what length shocks you're going to use. I chose 85 for the rear, 75 for the front. The shorter ones at the front take away the droop on the front axle. Unless you use firm springs at the front, you are going to risk a little bit of tyre rub on the body shell when you're cornering and the shocks are compressed. You can restrict the compression of the shock by maybe sticking a bit of nitro fuel pipe on the shock shaft, something like that, or a bit of foam, or maybe some small spare rubber O-rings. Number 7. Motor and ESC choice. Your Tamiya Lunchbox will have come with a standard Silvercan 540 motor. There's infinite combos for motors and ESCs, from brushed to brushless, but today we're going to keep it real simple, stick with brushed and go with the Tamiya standard upgrades. And the 2 most popular motors from Tamiya seem to be the torque tuned or the sports tuned motor. Now, check this out. The sport tuned motor has actually got more torque than the torque tuned motor. So if you're not sure which to go for between those 2 motors, maybe that will help your decision. Now, I did say I was going to keep it simple and stick with Tamiya, but with budgets in mind, it's always good to save a few quid. I've used all of these personally, and in fact these are pictures of motors I own, so I still buy them for other kits. They're pretty good, I can't complain. If you're going to be using your Tamiya ESC, you've got a real restriction on the motors you can use. Have a look in your manual. I'm always using the Hobbywing 1060 because it's just so good, plug and play and you're off. Plus, you can get as low as a 12-turn motor on it. Not that I'd use that on my Lunchbox. On my Lunchbox, 17-turn motor or up. Now, there's going to be a lot of people out there who do go nutty with their motors. So, don't take what I say as gospel. But this is just my way of striking a balance between speed, performance and keeping it in one piece. Number 8. Front chassis brace. The chassis is really flexible at the front. A lot of people make a homemade solution out of a bar or a piece of alloy. I went onto a website called Thingiverse. People upload their designs to share with the community, and you can get them printed by somebody you know locally, or go online and find a 3D printer there. Number 9. Steering servo. The Lunchbox is well known for having its wheels in the air. And a lot of people say, what does steering matter? But in fact, on loose dirt without the rear traction, it's fairly stable. When I say stable, I mean it bounces around a lot, but it's a monster truck, and that's what we love about it. All that aside, the Lunchbox is known for having a poor steering circle. I have made a video about a steering hack for the Tamiya Lunchbox, which greatly improves it. So much so, it can roll over dead easy, and I had to turn down the dual rates just so it wouldn't. If you go online, you'll see what lots of other people have done, and there's some really good inventive stuff out there. And I mean, if it works, it works. Doesn't matter how pretty it looks. But if you can find a way to either level the servo or centre the servo, you're going to get much better turning circle. Now, if you're wondering what type of servo I went for a 25 kilogram servo. It was a cheap option, works well, hasn't failed me yet. Nice. Number 10. Aftermarket Parts. I'll start by showing you all the parts I've added to this Lunchbox, together with some other options available that you may well be interested in. You can buy both this alloy shock mount and an alloy wheelie bar from eBay. The alloy heatsinks are from a UK based company called Mini Manufacturing. They also do alloy wheels for the Lunchbox, so you might want to check them out. Just so you know, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies in any way. This is just what I found out personally myself. I also bought these from Mini Manufacturing. They're wheel hubs for the Lunchbox, made from alloy. They look cool, but they're not essential. But they are pretty cheap. The more you search, the more you find. And things can get pretty expensive. I'm not going to quote any prices here, but if you go online and take a look for these, costs can really start to stack up. One company that did catch my eye recently is called UK Monsters. They seem to be producing some really good parts, including front double wishbone suspension, which would be really interesting to try out. Number 11. LED lights. A light kit is an easy and affordable way to bring extra fun to your Lunchbox. The kit is available on eBay, really easy to fit. The front lights are just push in. For the rear, you get some LED housing that you just need to make a 4mm hole for in the body. Really easy. This light kit came with a Tamiya style on and off switch. This was really handy because I wasn't using that space on the chassis where the space for the ESC on and off switch would be, because I'm using the Hobbywing 1060. So now I can turn these lights on and off via that switch. Number 12. Treat the Lunchbox shell like a blank canvas. The possibilities are endless. There are so many custom decals available today. Check eBay, also check MCI, and anywhere else you can find on the internet. You really can make these monster trucks your own. I like to de-chrome mine, and it's dead easy to do. Key the surface of the chrome with some light sandpaper, get some foam oven cleaner, place the parts in a bag, spray in the foam cleaner, leave it for about 20 minutes and it will be de-chromed. I like to spray mine matte black, together with the front of the shell to mimic a bonnet protector. There's more. Here's a little added bonus. Let's pay tribute to what inspired the Tamiya Lunchbox. The Rolling Thunder. I will leave a link in the description so you can check this out a little bit more if you want to know a bit of the history, but what a truck. If you want to find out more about the steering hack video, or the fast track shocks, or if you want to see this truck in action, just click the playlist and choose what you want.